Hey guys, this is Alyssa Soderlund with Mindset Redesign. I hope you're having an amazing day. Now, I wanted to come on and talk to you a little bit more today about who I am and why I've started this whole podcast website dedicated to helping us really actually take control of our mindset and be able to live the best life that we want to be able to create and to live. So, to start off, like I said, my name is Alyssa. At this time, I've had worked in the social services field for about 11 to 12 years. And I had one day, had made a big life decision that I needed to make a change for myself, especially related to my career and actually my whole mindset in general. I had grown up, from a divorced family at the early age of 6. But my one true passion at that time was playing fast pitch softball. It really was my lifeblood. It's what connected me to a new family that I decided to grow into. So I played fast pitch for 12 years or so and played on traveling leagues. I was a catcher. I got to college and thought, that my time at that field was not what I wanted it to be. I had a really hard time, especially with the coach because she's a yeller. I don't do well with yelling. And at that time, I was still playing on my traveling league softball team, but I had been cut. I had played on this team for about 4 years, 5 years, and it was a great devastation to me. I ended up drinking a lot during my time at college. So when I didn't have anything else to do, especially after being cut from my traveling league team, I had decided to quit my college team. And I mean, it's one thing that I could have stayed on there and really, harnessed in my time there and got to know a family a bit more, but it just wasn't a right fit for me. So what I ended up, doing was going to school. I was partying all the time, but I had actually finally come across a major after changing it twice that social work was my major that I wanted to go into. It just happened to stumble across it. I had actually started out as a nursing major and then went into chemistry for about 2 seconds and was like, these are not the right fits for me. Kind of following along within my parents' legacy because both my dad's a nurse and my mom is a med tech. I'm like, let's give both of these a try. And they just weren't a right fit for me. And so after talking with, my counselor that was there to see what would be a better fit, I just happened to stumble across social work, and I was like, well, let's give it a whirl. I've loved being able to talk with people and really just understand where people are coming from and getting their stories. And as a kid growing up, I was kind of that mediator, especially, coming from a family that experienced divorce. I always was the one that was like, everything will be okay. It will be okay. If somebody's having a hard time, it'll be fine. So it came from a place of just me being genuine to who I am and who I was. So I was like, all right, let's give this a try. So doing my college thing, enjoying the parties, all that good stuff aside, but I actually ended up really excelling in the social work field for some reason. And it just stuck. I've always wanted to hear everybody else's story because to me, it's so intriguing to me to understand where people have come from. And this allowed me a way to really do that and actually understand where people were coming from. So long story short, I graduated at the age of 23 and 4-year plan went from 5-year plan, but who cares, especially when you change majors twice. So I ended up, getting into a career shortly after I graduated, something that in a field where typically a social work field, you have to have a ton of experience behind your belt to be able to even get into, and which I did. I had a lot of leadership skills that came from, I could translate from the softball field to a career in social work, being able to organize and help people really start to develop and change their mindset and change their skills and being able to accomplish what they would like to for goals. I'd also worked at a group home for almost 2 years. So it really helped propel me to get ready and get into the social work field. So that being said, I was there at that agency for 4 years. In that time, I actually, I came out, hadn't realized that, I guess, I hadn't realized it at that time that I was attracted to women, but lo and behold, I am and was, and life is great from there. So shortly after I came out, I started dating a female closely. We grew together close as sometimes those relationships do. And within the year of our relationship, we ended up moving to a completely different state. I'm from Wisconsin originally, and now I'm living in North Carolina. And so we moved to North Carolina, and she ended up getting a role at a different, got recruited to work for a multi 500 business, blah, blah, blah company, which is great for her. But as we started to like get down here and like really get to know one another and see where our interests had lied, or laid, example, a lot of the relationship developed into something that I actually, unfortunately, wasn't excited about for about 2.5 years. In that time that we had been moved down to North Carolina, I actually got my master's degree in social work, which I had started before we moved. And coming to realize, like, not knowing anybody down here, my entire family was still in Wisconsin, and all of my friend connections were still in Wisconsin. I started like getting involved with like working out a lot, and got to connect with a couple of friends and really made some fast friendships, and was working with a multi-level marketing company as to, interest in fitness. It made all the sense in the world. But because of that reason, a lot of what I learned was personal development. And in that, I started reading books like You're a Badass. I started reading, podcast or listening to podcasts, and like actually getting to know myself better and understanding where my happiness lies. And I found out that I actually really enjoy who I am, and my happiness lied within me. But the thing was, finding that out made a huge difference, because what it really led me to was, in my gut, I wanted to do something more I was incredibly passionate about helping people in a different way. Social services are great. Like, don't get me wrong, I love being a social worker, but there was something that I just felt more attached to, especially when I started to like develop and understand who I really truly was. And that, some of the feelings that I was experiencing were really hard. No relationship is easy. We all, know that if you've been in a long-term relationship, no relationship is easy. But my biggest thing was when I announced to her, what I wanted to do, that support that I was looking for, no matter if the idea for her was, or for me or for whomever, was outlandish or whatever, I didn't feel that. I didn't receive the support that I really wanted to be able to move and grow and do something so much bigger and out of the box than like a corporate agency, because that's all I've known, until I really started to dig in there and understand that there are so many other things that you can do from a revenue stream. That aside, I love working with people. And for me, it was being able to channel that energy and being able to understand and know that obviously my true passion is finding out what everybody else's story is, because it's so intriguing to me as to where people have come from. I wanted to be able to do that in a bigger way. And in the relationship, I didn't feel that support at all, unfortunately. But it took me about 2 years to understand that I wasn't happy anymore. And I hate to say that, but we have to come to a time as to, if you're not happy, you need to be able to take ownership of that. And I finally took ownership of that through personal development. I was able to grow my confidence, honestly, to be able to leave the relationship and to eventually leave my corporate job. And because of those things, like, there are growing pains that come along with all of that. But the bigger thing is, like, I'm truly in a place where I'm so happy now to be able to talk with you and to share with you exactly who I am, because it didn't come quickly. It never came overnight. Any kind of skill, no matter if you're working on a softball skill or if you're working towards, a corporate job or becoming like something bigger as in an agency or anywhere else, it takes practice. It takes work. It takes making failures, falling on your face to just get to where you want to go. And in the end, you learn those skills to be able to do it. So nothing is easy, but it's completely achievable. So whether you want to be this top of the line entrepreneur and be rocking out some really cool product and go on Shark Tank, have at her. Or if you just want to make the best damn brownies in the world because you know that you make the best damn brownies in the world and your family loves it, like, being able to step away and like have your confidence and know that you do that is huge. What I'm trying to learn, I want to teach and be able to share with other people is that no matter what it is, like you have this passion and this purpose for life, whether you don't know it or not yet, or it's been stifled by, big dreams as a kid and not being able that you can fulfill them because as a society, we've kind of stifled one another in that. I want you to get back to that because this world and your life is so much more valuable than just being stuck and being monotonous and going through the motions as to what does or doesn't make you happy anymore. And for me, to help you along that journey is by far one of my biggest interests. And for me, this is why I started like wanting to share this video and starting to talk with people more, because to be honest, like there's just so much juice to life. And I want to be able to be that conduit for you to be able to like grow and move through this, because there's a lot of cool things and there's a lot of cool people and there's a lot of cool food and adventures and travel that we all have talked about wanting to go on and to do. And this is our biggest opportunity to do it. So with this podcast and with this show, I really want to show you and talk to you about little snippets of motivation and being able to know that you have the power to create whatever you want to. So if it is living in a relationship that you're not 100% in, you have to take those steps to be able to move past that. Unless you want to stay in that relationship and really work with your partner and being able to move forward, then that's what it's about. But you have to draw that line in that sand for you. So with all that being said, and I know I'm kind of going on, but not everybody has had the opportunity to know that they can make a difference in their own life, whether it starts with you to make a bigger impact into other people. So with that being said, I hope you have an amazing day. I want you to know that whatever challenge or struggle that you're going through, you have the ability to change that. And a lot of us, especially now, there's so much anxiety that comes along with just the day-to-day living in this world. But the biggest part is like, you are so strong that you have the ability to do this. No matter where you're at, you can do this life. And I'm so happy to have you here. And I'm glad that a platform like, social media has been able to connect us one-to-one, because I would love to hear your story. And I can't wait to see where you go and have you potentially as a guest on this show, because you know what? You deserve it. So I'm so excited to keep this going. I'm really excited to get this started and off and running, because I can't wait to hear what your story is. So I hope you have an incredible day. I can't wait to share this journey with you. So take care, get out there, and just live your life. Have a good one.